This is Bridget Kelly, and you are watching Wrap Up TV. The direction of the album has really become, for me, much more of an emotional driven album as opposed to it being sonically rock. I think when I first started this process, I wanted to tie in a bunch of elements, and I think when it got down to it and we got down to the nitty gritty of how we wanted things to come out, it didn't really pan out the way that I wanted it to. So that's why it took so much time. It's why so much time has lapsed in between the last time we spoke and now, that we've been able to sort of hone in and focus exactly on what I wanted my sound to be. And so I think it's a lot more vibey. I think a lot of the records that we have are still very aggressive, but I think that they're representing a much more fragile side of me as well as an aggressive side, and not so angry in your face as I wanted to be before. Well, FrankOcean, very talented songwriter and artist, went in with Shay Taylor, who produced the track, and they wrote the song for me, and I came in and I fell in love with it as soon as I heard it. Really, the main thing that I wanted to bring to this with this album is just raw emotion and making sure that everything that I talk about is coming from a very raw place. And so this record for me, it being the first record that we put out, is really special because it's sort of a vulnerable track, and I wanted everybody to kind of feel me as opposed to it just being a, really loud, bouncy song in your face. I wanted it to be kind of, raw and slow and, just emotional enough to touch people. And I think so far that's what it's doing. So I'm happy with that. He was someone that I was actually introduced to. I was introduced to his music first, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of his work, and I think a lot of people at the label caught wind too of his talent and his songwriting ability, so they thought it would be a great idea to pair me up with him. He also went in with Beyonce as well, and with Jay-Z and Kanye for Watch the Throne. So it's been sort of a family affair, I guess, if you will. Everybody was really excited about Frank, and so going in with him was a real pleasure for me too. Shay Taylor is actually my number one producer. He's my go-to guy. I got to work with Eric Bellinger, who's another incredible writer, as well as, the James Fauntleroy. I was in with James Fauntleroy as well. Who else have I been in with recently? It's a lot. It's been a lot. It's been sort of a whirlwind. The Dream is definitely one. Neo as well, another one of my favorites. So just to name a few, a few big names here and there. Pretty awesome, and Frank. So it's been great. It's really, again, a blessing to have a direct line to him. With this whole process for me, I've been able to reach out and speak with him about what he thinks about certain records, or how he feels about the project being done. And I reached a point where I actually thought the project was done, and I was like really proud and excited, and I went to him and I'm like, man, this is it, I'm so excited. And he was like, you're not finished. You have a lot more to do. This is a great start. This is a great place for you to be. It's a wonderful starting point, but you got to go back in and make sure that it's completely correct and really masterful. And I think that it's really rare to have the person who runs your label tell you that they want more from you. He demands the best, and I think that he demands the best of all of us, and that's a really fantastic thing, that he wants us to take the time to really perfect our craft and really master this body of work, so that when we put it out, it's not going to be something that's dead in 10 minutes. I'm working on an EP at the moment to follow suit with the FrankOcean record that I just put out. And so there's going to be probably about 4 to 5 records that sort of embody what the album is going to be. It'll sort of be an introduction to where it is that I'm going with my music, and hopefully keep people completely satisfied until the album does come out. But it's exciting. It's a really exciting project for me. To be able to do that in conjunction with my album has been a lot of fun. It's not any easier, but it's definitely it's a learning experience. And it's going to be just as genuine, just as emotional as the album is going to be. So I'm thrilled. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. I'm ready to release that and go on the road again.